The Parsha describes the rebellion of Korach, the cousin of Moshe, against his leadership. And it was an absolutely terrible rebellion. It ended up in the death of many, many people. And it stands for all time as the example, the absolute paradigm of what it means a machloket, strife and division, which is not for a good purpose whatsoever. And the Torah tells us, Lo yeh kekorach u'cha'adato, that you must not be like Korach and his followers. The Talmud explains, what does that mean? That is actually a negative commandment, that the Torah is instructing us, don't be like Korach. In other words, don't be a person who instigates division and strife, or if there is existing division and strife, don't get involved. You know, there are people who always like to whip up controversy and issues in the community. That's a Korach type of a person. And then there are others who would never do that, but once there's already division and strife, they take sides and they get involved. Don't do that either. Don't whip up controversy. Don't get involved in controversy. Stay away from it. It's dangerous. It causes harm. People can die. Tempers can be inflamed. Stay away from machloket. But there is another way of reading that phrase, and this is read by Rav Chaim Shmulevitz, the famous Rosh Yeshiva of the Mir Yeshiva. You can actually read the phrase as a statement, not as a warning. So we read it as Lo yeh kekorach u'cha'adato, don't be like Korach and his congregation who rebelled against Moshe. But you can read it as Lo yeh kekorach u'cha'adato. There will never again in history be an example of the argument of Korach and his rebellion. Meaning what? Because in that case, Korach was 100% wrong and Moshe was 100% right. There will never again be such a machloket, such a division. Because going forward in time, when there's a division, there's always somebody who's more right, who has more of a point than the other, but the other person also has a point. So it could be that one side is 90% right and the other side is 10% right, but it will never be 100% and zero. Because that's not the way that human beings are. When two people get together and have an argument about money, about whatever it may be, the person who's adjudicating has to listen very, very carefully and not immediately say, this person's entirely guilty, this person's entirely innocent. It's very nuanced, it's very gray. And therefore what the Torah is telling us is that things are not so straightforward. They're not so black and white. In the case of Korach, it was clear. Moshe had been appointed by Hashem. He was the leader. The decisions that he was making, he wasn't making them on his own accord. He was doing it because he was instructed by the divine will. But when it came to Korach, his rebellion was entirely wrong and incorrect. But going forward, things are not like that. And therefore, we have to maintain a balanced approach. And we have to look for compromise. Because to say you're 100% wrong and you're 100% right is just going to lead to more strife and division. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.